Hi there, welcome everybody. This is Dee Dee Russell with weddingvenueowners.com and the Wedding Venue Owners and Managers community on Facebook. This morning we have an amazing guest I'm so excited about. I have been following and been a fan of this for a long time because it's a very unique idea. And in the wedding industry, we have a lot of traditional things and we don't branch off into innovation as much maybe as we could with certain areas. So Bridal Wars is the creation of Stacy Joubert. And Stacy is with us this morning. She's going to tell us all about Bridal Wars. Like I said, I've been following this for years. The images and everything that come through your feed when you see Bridal Wars get you excited, like you get pumped up. I almost got dressed up. I was like looking for a bride sash. I was going to dress up my chihuahua. I mean, maybe those things to come because I could just see her being on Team Bride or Bride Squad or something. So Stacy, if you will introduce yourself and tell everybody what is Bride Wars.
Yes. Hi. Thank you so much for having me. And it means a lot to know that you were a fan and following us. So thank you so much. My name is Stacy Joubert, and I am one of the owners of Bridal Wars. I have a partner. Her name is Heather. And so it's the two of us. We have been running Bridal Wars for over 5 years now. Each year we host roughly 20 give or take events a year. COVID obviously threw a wrench into things, so it had been a while since we hosted events. But we like to tell people that Bridal Wars is not your typical bridal show. We essentially took the typical bridal show and turned it up a notch into the coolest bridal competition ever. So the premise of Bridal Wars really is to give girls a different way to experience, a wedding show. So at Bridal Wars, brides register for our event with teams, and their teams consist of bridesmaids, family, friends. They can have whoever they want on their team. Their team sizes can range. We see teams, 4 girls, but upwards of 20. And they come to our event and then they play games and do challenges. We like to call them challenges with the vendors that are at our event. They'll do things from like a lip sync challenge, they'll do a bouquet toss, they do some relay races, they'll do a cupcake tasting. So it's a lot of fun experiences and fun games. It's really about a day of fun for them, so for them to experience and meet wedding vendors just in a very different way. They get to see personalities that they might not see at a typical bridal show. They're having fun that day, so they'll rotate. The event, it lasts about 3 hours, and they rotate station to station, and they'll do the game or challenge with that specific vendor. And then at the end of the event, we have an awards winner ceremony where we announce all the winning teams and we hand out prizes. And you would think that we are awarding them, $1 million because they get so excited about winning. It's not really about what they win. It's the fact that they came to win. Like, they wanted their name to be announced and they wanted to be recognized as a winner, and they get so excited. But really, it is so much fun. We have a blast doing it.
Well, and I like that you came up with something that is a new take on traditional bridal shows. We have a lot of wedding show party partners, a lot of variety of wedding shows out there, and they're wonderful for sure. But, you can't help but think, wouldn't it be great if there was something a little more unique? Wouldn't there be great if there was something a little more high energy or a little different? And I love this concept because when you see the pictures roll through the news feeds, through the social media feeds on Instagram, I mean, it's incredible. It's so much fun. There's so much high energy. They're wearing different uniforms. Can you talk a little bit about the way that they get dressed to come to the event?
Yeah. So our very first Bridal Wars, we told them to just come dressed in team attire. And they just make up their own costumes, tutus, matching shirts, outfits. We have seen so many different things I can't even tell you. So they make these up all on their own. They create them on their own. They also sometimes create team names or a team hashtag. And that's what they'll use for the whole day. So there's usually someone creative on the team that makes it, or they're ordering that stuff online. But we've seen some really, really crazy stuff.
And that also creates a huge hype and buzz on social media, because when it's coming through and you're seeing like the war paint under their eyes and then the sash and then all, and they're all dressing alike and they're having so much fun. And I mean, they're really breaking from, kind of the norm of, having, more of a structured indoor booth to booth experience. This is, high energy. We're competing, we're having fun. All of our team is, a team of support that's kind of helping us get through the wedding and the process of the wedding. And they're going to be there at our bachelor party and probably part of our wedding party. So it's such a tight knit, fun group that are there to support each other and the bride, of course. But the high energy level is what I love. And I love to see the different costumes and how creative they get. And then the names, they come up with their own team names. Can you share some of those names?
Oh my goodness, we have seen so much. I mean, it'll be things from, like sweating for the wedding, or sometimes they'll use a combination of their future last name or their current last name. Sometimes there's things I wouldn't repeat online, and I get embarrassed, but really it's so much fun. And when you just mentioned that, they come to Bridal Wars for a different experience, the girls don't really know what to expect. They see our videos, they see our photos, but they don't really know what to expect until they're there. But they come with a sense of like, they get there, they're all smiles. They come knowing that this is just going to be different, that they're going to have a different experience, that I believe that every, wedding show and trade show certainly has its place. But when they come to Bridal Wars, they really just come in with, they just automatically just come in with a different sense that day. They're all smiles, they're ready for some fun. It's like they kind of let their hair down. They're not stressed that day, they're not worried about anything. They're just meeting up with their girlfriends. A lot of times too, we see wedding parties meeting for the first time. So it might have been like a high school friend that's from out of town and she's meeting everybody else that first day. But it's also not uncommon for moms to be on teams. That happens a lot. Family members, grandmothers. I mean, we had a grandmother this weekend dancing in a lip sync competition with the whole team, and the whole place was just cheering her on. And it's so much fun. There also is a level of support for one another. So while we say, it is a competition and they really are looking for to win, there is, especially I noticed this weekend, we had events in Texas. They're our first events that we've had in about a year and a half because of COVID. What I noticed at this event, it happens a lot, but I noticed specifically at this one, especially during our lip sync competition, this one turned into a full-on dance off. I mean, there was just, dancing, the crazy, girls were clapping, they were in a circle around each other, but they were pulling out, the brides or the teams that were dancing at the time were going through the crowd and grabbing the other brides to come out with them. So it was kind of like a let's all do this together type of thing. And it just really kind of melted my heart in the moment. I just thought that is just the sweetest thing. While they might, be excited to win, they really do chat with each other. They're high-fiving each other. They're laughing at each other when they do something silly. It really is just, a really great time.
So tell us a little bit about how you go about setting one of these up when you or this. What is an ideal wedding venue relationship for you? So wedding venues are always trying to think of creative ways to get people to come to their venue, to get engaged couples to come out to their venue, creative ways to have a good high turnout at an event. Because there's so many wedding shows and different things, sometimes markets can be watered down a little bit in your effort to try and get couples to come to you. And then sometimes when you do go to one of the big bridal shows or wedding expos that has a huge turnout, a lot of times it's a challenge for a venue because they really want to show the venue. So at that point, you're just trying to get engaged couples to maybe schedule a tour, but so that's a challenge there and a little bit of a disconnect. So when you can get a good volume of engaged couples, quality leads, and then that market, their cousins, their friends, the whole group, peer group that are likely to be similar, in that engaged, time in their life. So what is an ideal venue relationship for you look like? And, what's an ideal, kind of, you have a one type of event where you're really heavily involved and you're going out there, and then there's only so many of you all on your team. So there are partners. So tell us a little bit about the venue relationships.
Yes. So we look to have, we look for venues that that love Bridal Wars and want us to come there so that we can have a long-term relationship with them. And we have a lot of venues that we have returned to time and time again. For us, we look for a property because Bridal Wars is an active event. We do need to use an outdoor space. So we look for a combination of indoor and outdoor space, and outdoor space being, that they have lawn and grass area that they don't mind girls, walking around on and even running on in type of relay race or something like that. I mean, certainly we don't, dig up any grass or anything like that, but we just need an outdoor space that is usable. And we do need to, because it is a combination of indoor and outdoor, we are sensitive of where we go in the calendar year across the country, just based on weather. And right now, like you mentioned, we are a team of two. We have been a team of two. And so we can only travel so much. We get requests to go to cities all the time, but there's only two of us. And, we know that when we overload our calendar, it is just, never really a good idea to do that. So what we are starting this year is, we have our traditional schedule that we still have some room in. So there certainly is some room in our schedule this year for some new venues or some new cities. We have a lot of repeat cities that we're going back to. But we're also looking to team up with event partners. And what that would be for us, an ideal relationship with us would be a property that wants to bring Bridal Wars to their property and wants to work with us and think that this is a fun event. But we can give them all the tools and all the information that they need to host Bridal Wars without us actually physically being on property. So essentially they would run the day of event. We would give them all the tools, all the social. We'll promote it like we would a traditional Bridal Wars. So girls signing up for the event won't know it's any different. We don't want it to look or feel any different. But it also gives us the opportunity to be in more locations and for other girls to experience Bridal Wars that might not be able to because we aren't in their city. And also for, properties to, have a really fun, cool event that, we've worked really hard for years. We do have a good social following. All the pictures and videos we post are from actual events. They're not stock images that we went and found anywhere. I mean, we're taking those on our iPhones at the events and posting those. And we've had hundreds of events and thousands of girls. And every time it is just a whole lot of fun. So we're looking for a venue that really knows that this is, an active fun event and they're up for, something new and different. This isn't a typical trade show like you mentioned. The other part of Bridal Wars too that I wanted to touch on a little bit is that, because it's not a typical trade show and we really do look for the fun and interaction, for us, it really is about the interaction. It really is about showing off your business in a different way, than you would at a traditional event. So for example, we'll have a photo booth at our event, but they host a challenge that we call mugshot. So we have these laminated mugshot signs. They'll set up their photo booth and they'll bring whatever background they want. And then the girls will pose with their team with these mugshot signs. And then, it's the favorite mugshot of the day that wins. So for us, it's just about how can we team up with this vendor so they can showcase their business differently than they would, maybe at a traditional event. And we don't look for a ton of vendors at Bridal Wars. We're really like, our ideal is about 20. And that's so that we, can give them a lot of room at the event. We don't really give them a box that they can set up in. They really have a lot of different, like spaces that they can use. They can, they'll bring pop-ups and be outside and, they'll have a lot of, indoor space if they require power. And, then they will host a challenge / game. And we try to pair that up with their business so that it does show off their business. And it gives them a chance to talk to girls just in a different way and than they would, at a traditional event.
So you brought up social media, and I want to talk about the fact that Bridal Wars has an incredible following on social media. Outstanding. I don't know of a lot of other wedding industry businesses that have enough of a following that could call themselves influencer. I know there are a lot out there that have a lot, but not necessarily in that bridal expo, bridal show, vendor, kind of experience. So can you talk a little bit about the numbers that you have on your social media? Because I think they're amazingly impressive, and working with Bridal Wars means that you also get to take advantage of some of that incredible, powerful social media exposure that you have to offer. So can you share a little bit about your Facebook and your Instagram numbers?
Yes. So we are primarily Instagram and Facebook. We have 13.5 thousand followers on Instagram, and I think just under 17,000 on our Facebook page. And we've worked really hard to do that, but those are intentional. I mean, that's really city based. That's not for us. It's just not a lot of random people. It is, brides and their friends and vendors that have followed us and continue to follow us and be a part of that.
So, with the impact of the social media and all of the exciting places that you're going to, and the things that you can offer a venue partnership, where would be some of the ideal cities that a venue relationship might work well with Bridal Wars?
Certainly. Well, we are open to anyone who might be interested in having us that, maybe watched this today and thought, oh my God, that sounds cool. I would love to chat with her and I love to have conversations with people. So I'm open to anything. We're specifically looking in the Northeast, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Hampshire, in that Northeast area. We would love to go to Philadelphia. So we're open to some other Pennsylvania locations as well. We have some really great partners in Texas already, but certainly that's a very popular state for us. So we would, be open to some other places as well. But yeah, I mean, we're really open to some cities that anyone really thinks, oh my God, this is cool, and we'd love to connect. So.
Can you share a little bit about the fun that you all had in Texas this last week, which was kind of like a back-to-back tour? Like, the demand is so exciting and so high in all the markets that you're in. And venue owners, please understand this. There is limited product here, so to speak, to be crude and put it in sales terms, but there really is, supply is limited on dates that you will get interactive with. This isn't a cut and paste and have this everywhere and water down the effectiveness. Yeah. This is very well planned. The markets are reviewed, the area is reviewed, the venue is reviewed. Not all venue partnerships are good partnerships. Mm-hmm. So this is something that is very, well thought out and well planned. And so, just wanting one in your location doesn't mean there can be one in your location. Right. So tell us a little bit about Houston and how amazing that was. And I just want the venue owners to understand how in love these brides are. They're traveling for hours to get to these events. Yeah. So can you share a little bit about what the Houston and the Texas experience was and where you were in those areas?
Sure. So in planning our post, our kind of first events, after we were on our COVID hiatus, Texas was our state that we knew that we wanted to go to. We've had some of our best, highest attending, most fun events in Texas. So we decided, while our events are normally always on Sundays, we do that intentionally because two reasons. One, we are going to wedding venues, so we would never consider asking them to give up a Friday night or a Saturday, prime wedding day for us. So we are on Sundays for that reason, and so that businesses can come to the event, and also the weekends, Sundays, so the girls can travel from out of the area. But when we put together these events for Texas, there's a lot of travel restrictions for COVID. We weren't really sure how that was going to work. So we decided to do a Thursday night event, a Friday night event, and then a Sunday event. So we did like a mini tour. Our Thursday night event was in Houston, was at a property called Moffett Oaks, which is in Tomball, just a little outside of Houston. And that's another thing, actually, I'll touch on super quickly, but when we say that we're in Houston, or when we say that we're in, the Austin or San Antonio or something like that, usually we're about, 30 minutes from a downtown city location. And that's usually because, obviously we look for properties that have space and that have land. So it's really not uncommon for us to be, 30 to 40 minutes outside of a major city, but we still will call it that city name because that's really the closest large city. So we were in Houston Thursday night. We had 250 girls registered for this event. We had over 100 brides registered, which typically for us, 100 brides translates to about 500 girls because they have, an average of 5+ on a team. But with COVID, we weren't really sure how that was going to work. But we had a really great attendance at our Houston event on Thursday night. And the Thursday night event is just like, brings up a whole other type of, fun and crazy. They were really just looking for like a really, and it was their first time, coming back to Bridal Wars, and we just had such a great time. So we were Thursday night in Houston, then Friday night we traveled to San Marcos for our Austin San Antonio event. We strategically placed that between the two cities so that we could get girls that traveled. And I had a team come up to me, tell me that they drove 3 hours on a Friday to come to Bridal Wars, their whole team, because they wanted to come to the event, they wanted to come to the Friday night event, and they had such a good time, and they thanked us for coming, and that was so fun. And then Sunday we were in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and that was our largest attending event. And girls traveled from all over. I always ask everyone at the end of the event, I'd like to give out an award to someone who traveled the farthest to come to Bridal Wars, and they were coming from out of state. There's team members came from Georgia, there was somebody who came from Virginia, so it's really not uncommon for brides to really get their bridal parties from out of the area to come in and just all have, an experience with each other. So
while you say that some of the ideal venue connections for you are Northeast, what that means is the connections that you make, that you and your team literally go to and are on site, that is one type of the Bridal Wars that you put together and that you offer, and you have a limit of about 20 of those a year. But venue owners, don't be sad, because there is a partnership program where someone can partner with you. And what is that like? This opens up markets, outside of those areas that you, kind of have tried and true and have on your schedule for you and your team. This opens up areas that could be Seattle, that could be, northwest, it could be Midwest. If the market is right, what are those venue partnerships like?
So those venue partnerships are, again, someone who has the space, has the right venue, that does have the combination of indoor and outdoor space, and that is interested in being involved in an event, because they will have to be hands-on with Bridal Wars, and they will have to love it. I mean, we want someone that thinks this is as fun and cool as we do, and that has a really fun personality and is willing to, work with us on this event and work with us long term. I mean, we're not looking for someone to just do this one time. We're looking for someone that says, hey, let's try this out, let's make this work, and then we can do this every year or twice a year. There's certainly markets that we go to that are large markets that have 2 bridal shows a year, and we have 2 Bridal Wars there a year. It certainly works. But those event partners, will work with us constantly during this event. We will share all of our information with them, all of our details, all of our logos and photos, and we'll work with them to plan this event, help them run this event, give them everything they need to put on a Bridal Wars at their property. Just won't have myself or Heather there, just, for travel purposes. We really can't be everywhere, but we do get a lot of requests to go to a lot of different cities. So we'd love to be able to put Bridal Wars in other locations, but with people that we trust will treat it in the same way that we would treat it.
I hope our venue owners kind of can start to think about that for a little bit and to get excited about that. This is a unique, very unique wedding show, something that is not being offered. Typically it gets a lot of attention, but not only that, Stacy and her team have built up that incredible social media following. They have brides saying, when are you coming to our town? When are you coming to our state? When are you coming to our city? And they do travel. So what I love about this is if a lot of the venues you're currently working with are a little bit outside of the city, then a lot of our venues that say we're a little bit further out, but we want to start to attract more couples to come out. This is a great fit for you and a great option. And you don't have to say, well, I have to wait 2 or 3 years for Stacy and her team to add me. You can be added as a vendor, as a venue partner, and have all the backing and support and professionalism and branding of this event. And it is going to get you a lot more attendance and, kind of get you that exclusive, really cool event that probably isn't happening anywhere in your market. I think that this is such a clever idea. It's so much fun. And it really doesn't matter what I think. The brides have spoken. I mean, how many of you out there watching have 17,000 followers, really active and engaged, in love with what you're doing? 17, almost 20,000 on Facebook, and what did you say, 10, 11, 12,000?
13 and a half on Instagram.
Almost 14,000 on Instagram. What the thing is, when you start to get to those numbers, You could almost just evaporate from doing a lot on the social media. I don't recommend that, but you could, and it's still building and developing on its own. It's still creating, new followers, generating that even with limited work. So with a company that puts in a lot of work in their social media successfully, and then goes to a new market with a new venue partner, you're really getting the advantage of all that incredible social media impact. And I'm assuming sometimes local news media, kind of picks these things up and gets involved.
Yes, we send out press releases. Sometimes we have news crews come. Sometimes we have articles written ahead of time, just because they're like, "What is this?" You say Bridal Wars, and someone immediately thinks, "Wait, what is that?" And it just immediately kind of garners some attention. And yes, it's not uncommon at all to have press at our events.
So the point of this is that this is a high exposure, high visibility potential partnership. This is an opportunity for some of you to get a relationship with Bridal Wars before it's gone, before that kind of relationship opportunity is taken by someone else. So what is the best way for potential venue partners to contact you if they're interested in learning more and maybe talking to you about arranging a time for a Bridal Wars in their market?
Sure. The best thing to do would be to email me. And my email address is Stacy, STACY, at bridalwarsevent.com. And I also welcome everyone to check out our website and to check out our social. Do a little bit of your own research before you reach out to us. Check it out and see if you really do think it would be a good fit for you. Go on our Instagram, go on our Facebook page, and see what we've been talking about today, and make sure that it's something you're like, okay, I would absolutely be on board for this. Because again, we want it to be something that works for everyone. And like you mentioned, we're only, when we're in a city, we are locked into only one venue. So we wouldn't ever have, two different venues in the same city, or even within a few hour radius. Because the girls do travel to Bridal Wars, we try to strategically place these locations quite a bit distance out. Like for example, we only have probably 4 different cities in Texas that we're currently working with. I know we could definitely place more in Texas, and we certainly are open to that. But the girls, they do travel to Bridal Wars, and we're not looking for competing cities or neighboring towns or anything like that.
And we didn't talk about the cost of this for the venues, which is really important probably for us to discuss. How much does it cost a venue to work with you?
So our venues that are on our traditional schedule that work with Heather and I, we actually just ask them to waive any rental fees that are associated with us coming there. So there is no money exchange at all. We don't charge anyone a venue, and we ask that they waive the fees and just allow us to use any tables and chairs they have on property for the vendors. And we actually help arrange all of that the day of. So we are moving tables around the day of the event and setting that up ourselves. And certainly, the properties help us as well. But no, we don't charge a property. We just kind of ask them to allow us to come. We do charge a vendor fee for the vendors to be a part of Bridal Wars, and that does range city to city just based on the venue, what would be a typical fee for the vendors when they might go to an outside show. We do kind of research that area. As far as our event partners goes, that is a profit share type of situation. And we have that all laid out in information that we can send over in a deck type format so that the event partners would understand how that works. But they would make money from the event, and we would make money from the event.
So that's outstanding, because a company with the recognition that you have, and bringing this powerful impact of this unique event that is exciting exciting the couples, exciting the brides, getting the brides to come out and see the actual property and the venue. I love it so much, and I'm excited about it. And I'm really hoping that some of our venue owners in our group are going to get involved in this. And, maybe down the road, we'll have some sort of wedding nerd relay or something like that, something inspired by, I'll keep thinking about it.
Listen,
I'm sure I'm going to find something amazing.
Yeah, I'm always open for challenge ideas, and we'll name it right after you. So
okay. And that's better than having a sandwich at the local deli. I'm telling you right now, I'm very excited about this. Now in my mind, now I've got to start thinking about what we can do. But we'll come up with something. I'll figure it out like at 3 a.m. one night. But
right. That's always what.
until then, what I want is for our venue owners to go and look up Bridal Wars. What is the website?
It's bridalwarsevent.com.
And we're going to put all the websites and links and email and Stacy's contact information at the end of this video so that you can all check it out. But please go and look that up. I don't want any of our members to lose out on an opportunity to have something so unique in their area. I am hoping that, Seattle and Portland and California and stuff like that, some of the venues watching this might be interested in that venue partner program, so that even though Stacy is booked and her team is very busy managing events that they've been working on for years and dates like that, that there is still an opportunity for you to have this event in your market that is, got all the support with it, all the social media marketing, all the media, press, and brand awareness, and all the setup. You're not going to be alone in building this event and, having it fall flat. And then you're sad and disappointed because, it didn't work well. You have an entire team that has the tried and true methods to put this together for you. And the brand awareness and the momentum and the social media marketing. So you have so many things in your favor supporting your venue. And I'm really excited to see where some of these little flags pop up all over the country. And we start to see some of our venue owners and managers in our community that decide to host some of these events. I'm so excited about that. Like, I think I would just drop what I'm doing and try to fly out there and, like be an honorary referee or something. I'd like to throw flags. That would be awesome. Or, volunteer in the dunk tank or something. I don't know. But in any case, we're going to put all the social media links and everything here. Every single person watching this, like the Instagram, follow on Facebook, like, follow, and share. And, really think about what this could mean for your venue and if this could be a good fit. And once you research the event and you look it over, I'm going to put a lot of information in the blog that accompanies this video so that there's more information and images. The images are awesome. I'm going to share them on my Instagram and all over the place. But if you research this and you think this might be a good fit for you, call Stacy right away before someone else does. If this is something you're really interested in, call her, find out if it is a good fit. It may not be. It may not be the right market. There already might be a partnership there. But call and find out and check it out and let me know if this is something that you might have, and keep me posted because I'm very excited. I would love to see. I love this so much. I love all of our wedding, partners that we work with and wedding shows. And I know how hard they put together and everything. But when you have something so unique and so exciting that is like bringing the excitement, like these couples are like pushing the doors down to get in. They're so excited for an event like this. You got to spread the word about it and share it with the venue owners, because I don't know that all our venue owners know that this is even happening, and it's been happening for some years, minus that void of 18 months that was COVID. But there's a great opportunity here for the right venue. And I'm very excited to see you all grow and get back out there and have all the great pictures and images.
Yes. Thank you so much. And I'm really just so grateful for the opportunity today. So thank you so much. And to have you as a fan is really honestly an honor. So thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Stacy. Keep me posted and updated. And maybe we'll do a follow-up after some of the cities you go to. I'd love to do even just little 2-minute videos, whatever it is. I love it. And, so we'll talk to you and get updates soon. And I will put all of the information at the end of the video. Like, comment, tell me what you think about Bridal Wars. Tell me if you call them. I want to hear all the comments. I'm very excited about this. So thank you so much, Stacy. Have an awesome day.
You too.
We'll chat soon.
Okay. Sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Bye.